Shriram College of Commerce presents SRCC Business Conclave 2021, Unmuting Ideas, Unraveling Possibilities. Title sponsor, University of Warwick, co-sponsored by Nestle and powered by Real 11. With an exuberant heart and cheerful mind, we welcome you all to Asia's biggest undergraduate management fest, where we embrace change, unmute ideas, and unravel possibilities. All boundaries are conventions, waiting to be transcended. Coming right away from Santa Clara, the heart of Silicon Valley, and home to headquarters of several high-tech companies, we have with us Honorable Karen Hardy. She is one of the 5 council members of the city of Santa Clara and working towards social and economic causes. She also serves as the commissioner of various community involvement programs. SRCC Business Conclave is remarkably honored to have Honorable Karen Hardy grace the conclave and share her valuable insights with the students. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I am really honored to be here, and I love working with Raj Chahal. He is a dear friend as well as a wonderful colleague. So I'm in great company, I know that. So basically, I guess I've been asked to talk about why I've gotten involved in things and kind of how I got here. The reality is I've come a long way. My mom raised 5 kids by herself because my dad was killed when I was 13 in a horrible industrial accident. So to say I was raised on the wrong side of the tracks was a little tiny farm, and we moved around a lot and it was hard. But I decided not to let that, how should we say, define me. I worked really hard in school and got a lot of scholarships and was able to go to college. And I decided to continue on with what my dad had done and got my degree in chemical engineering. To say that there weren't a lot of girls in chemical engineering in 1980, yes, I'm old, is there were just a few of us. And it was a very, very difficult major, but you know what? I loved it. I worked really hard and I did well. And I also found the love of my life while I was in college and got married. And we had 3 small children and I decided to stay home with them. But when you think of an engineer staying at home, I guess I didn't just do that because I kept reading the newspaper. And one day I saw an article that made me so angry here in Santa Clara that I couldn't not do something. They were trying to build a gambling hall in my city. And I said, no, I have to do something. I called up the newspaper, found the reporter that had written the article. And then I asked her, I said, you mentioned a citizens group. Do you have their contact information? And she says, as a matter of fact, I do. I called them up. They were having a meeting in 2 days and I got put on the committee. And I had no training in politics other than having really interesting conversations at home. And I thought, why not? As it turned out, I met a lot of interesting people fighting this. And I took my 3 little girls with me and they met a lot of people. They said, Mommy, we know the mayor now. But what was interesting is as I worked on that, I learned things that I would not learn in a book. And the reality is, I would say, don't be afraid of trying something new. Don't be afraid of what could happen. You'll only get smarter and learn things. From that, we kept a gambling hall out of Santa Clara, yay. And I had a lot of people say, you would make a great commissioner. Why don't you apply? So I applied to be a commissioner and I served on the Historic and Landmarks Commission and learned a lot about the history of Santa Clara because I didn't grow up here. We moved here from college. And from there, I became the chair and learned a lot about how the city works. And then I applied to the Planning Commission. And surprise, they put me on there and I served for 8 years and loved it. And felt like I was really doing something good. Now this whole time I was a stay-at-home mom, and this was my evening out. And I had my husband watch the little ones and they got older, because I was a commissioner for 13 years. Once my daughters went off to college, I was going to get back in and work as an engineer when I got a call from the school district. The same school where my daughters had gone, and it was the head of the math department, and he said, "We need some help. Could you come and substitute teach?" So, you know calculus, you know math, you know how to handle kids. Could you do this? So I thought, why not? I jumped in and started substitute teaching and found that I knew how to handle teenagers. Not everybody does. And I had so much fun. I found out that the principal was standing outside of the room listening to me work with these kids. And he said, "Dang, she's good." And he offered me a job. And I said, "I don't have a teaching certificate. I just can substitute." He said, "You're smart, go figure it out." And within a week, I had got into a teacher credentialing program and was on my way. I now have my master's in teaching. And I was having fun while my daughters were in college teaching math, all levels, when someone said, "We need some help with some pre-engineering." I said, "Okay, I'm game, let me try it. I'd love to see more." And it turned out to be computer science. So what I did is I took some basic training, because I coded in college way back when. Okay, I punched cards on a 360 IBM VAX, ancient history, but I knew how to code. And so I learned how to do this basic class and started it in our school district here in Santa Clara Unified. Because believe it or not, think about it, the headquarters of Intel, Oracle, Apple's down the street, Google's down the street the other way, all these startup companies, NVIDIA, and we did not teach computer science in the school district. So I started the program, and today I'm so excited. It's been 10 years, that was in 2010. We have 3 levels of classes at both high schools. I've trained all those teachers. I trained the teachers in middle school, and I'm pushing to get some beginning coding in the elementaries. And I personally have been able to be in 20 different states teaching other teachers how to teach computer science. Then I thought, maybe I just had too much time on my hands. I went, you know what? I still feel strongly about the city. And Raj and I talked, and when they changed some of the rules and made it a little bit easier, they broke it into districts. I had run for city council back in 2004 and had lost by 57 votes. So when people say each vote doesn't count, they don't understand it does. And I thought, well, maybe I'll run again. And I ran, and Raj and I talked a lot on the phone over this, because we were running now in districts, and his district was right next to mine. And I said, I would so love to serve with you on the council. And we were so excited that both of us won. And we've been serving since 2018. We've been able to do, I think, a lot of good things. We're working very hard to have a better relationship with the people who run our stadium. We are working to, on our committees. I know I'm working on the water committee, making certain we have enough water. That's important. Raj is working with the governance to make certain we have good rules, and he's so good at finance. He catches things. I can run the numbers, I can do the coding, but he catches those numbers, and he does a great job of that. I am honored to be able to serve on the city council. It's a responsibility. And I don't take it lightly, because our decisions affect other people. And I know how important that is. And especially, so I think my life is amazing. I'm a grandma now. I have 4 grandbabies, and I teach high school. I teach computer science and love it. I've been teaching other things as well as calculus, but now I'm teaching just computer science because I built the program so much. So I guess I would say to people, don't be afraid of trying something new. You never know how your life is going to turn out, and it could be amazing. Like I said, it's easy to talk about myself. Aren't we all our own favorite subject? I made certain I was within my time. I don't know if there's any questions, but.
No, it's completely fine, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wise and kind words. I'm certain the student community is truly inspired by your amazing life story. The audience is surely enlightened. Once again, ma'am, we thank you so much for your time and your presence at this event. We were really glad to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the offer, and don't be afraid. Try anything. And I always tell kids in jobs, I said, you know how you make certain you keep a job? You make certain you're so valuable that they don't know what they'd do without you.
That's so inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.